Hey everybody, and welcome to the Learn English Lab. I'm Mike, and today we're going deep with Sarah
Hi, everyone.
into the habits of highly successful people. So get ready,
Yeah.
because we're going to find out what makes them tick and how you can ethically steal their secrets.
It is really interesting how we often think about success as, these big splashy moves.
Right.
But what we're seeing again and again in our research is that it's more about
Yeah.
the tiny things that people do consistently over time.
It really is. And you know what it makes me think of is like building a skyscraper. You don't just throw the top floor on top and hope for the best.
Exactly.
It's brick by brick, day after day. And it seems like one of those foundational bricks for these successful people is setting really clear goals.
Mm-hmm.
And we're not talking about just I hope this happens, but really specific, sharp goals that almost act like filters for all their decisions.
That's a great way to put it. They're really clear about where they're going and how to get there. And without that, it's easy to get lost in the day-to-day
Absolutely.
and lose track of that bigger picture.
You know what else it made me think of was organization.
Oh, yeah.
That seems so simple, but planning your day, prioritizing tasks, even the humble to-do list.
Right.
These successful people, they love it.
It makes sense when you think about it. You free up so much mental space and energy.
Yeah.
You're not wasting time figuring out what to do next or scrambling to meet a deadline.
Right.
And that structure kind of sets you up for success.
For sure, but here's where it gets even more interesting, right?
Yeah.
It's not enough to just plan.
Yeah.
To be successful, you got to actually do something.
Right.
And that's another big theme we keep seeing is that bias towards action.
Absolutely.
Don't wait for the perfect moment.
Just start.
Just start.
Even if it's a little messy.
Yeah.
Procrastination is the #1 enemy of success.
Right.
These highly successful people, they know that doing something consistently,
Yeah.
even if it's a little bit at a time, ultimately leads to big results.
Yeah. And, all this action can't be blind, right? You need to course correct.
Yeah.
And that's why I think that the next habit that we keep seeing again and again makes so much sense.
Right.
Is self-reflection. Successful people really take the time to look at their strengths.
Yeah.
But even more importantly,
Their weaknesses.
yeah, those weaknesses.
It's so crucial to be able to learn from your mistakes and to adapt.
Right.
And ultimately to improve if you can't be honest with yourself about what needs work.
Right.
How can you ever actually grow?
Yeah, it's you're your own coach, right? You're constantly looking at your performance and figuring out how to play the game better.
I love that analogy.
All right, so this next one might surprise you.
Okay.
Frugality. And I want to be clear here. We don't mean being cheap,
Right.
but being resourceful, making the most of what you already have.
Yeah, it's a smart approach, and it shows that you're thinking long term.
Right.
You understand the value of your resources, whether that's money, time, or energy. And it's about making choices today that are going to set you up for a stronger tomorrow.
I love that it's that old saying, waste not, want not.
Yeah.
And this idea of taking care of what you have kind of extends to yourself too, right?
Yeah.
We saw a lot of these sources talking about having a good diet, regular exercise, even good hygiene.
It's so easy to overlook, but if you think about it,
Right.
your physical health directly impacts your energy levels,
Oh, yeah.
your focus, your resilience, and those things are really critical for success in any field.
It's like trying to run a marathon on junk food and no sleep.
Right.
You might make it to the starting line, but
You're not going to win.
you're not going to win. So taking care of yourself is laying the groundwork
Yeah,
for everything else.
for sure.
Okay, this one probably won't surprise you.
Okay.
Continuous learning.
Of course.
And we're not just talking about formal education here, but reading, finding mentors, just constantly being curious, expanding your knowledge.
They have this real thirst for knowledge. And the more you know, the more equipped you are to navigate the world and achieve your goals.
It's like you're collecting tools for your success toolkit.
Right.
Right? The more tools you have, the more problems you can solve, the more opportunities you can create.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay, ready for a curveball?
Okay.
Multiple sources talked about the importance of saying no.
Oh, interesting.
Not being rude, but setting boundaries.
Yeah.
Protecting your time and energy.
Why do you think that's so important?
Well, if you think about it, successful people are so focused on their goals.
Right.
Saying no to things
Yeah.
that don't align with that vision. It's a way to avoid distractions and stay on track.
It makes sense. You have to prioritize.
It's like that classic time management tip. If you don't control your calendar, somebody else will.
That's so true.
All right, and finally, let's talk about something that's definitely not a solo endeavor, networking.
Yeah.
Building those strong relationships keeps coming up in our research.
Of course.
It seems like such a huge factor in success.
For sure, surrounding yourself with other ambitious, driven people, you create the support system. It opens doors, provides mentorship. It's really invaluable.
It's like building your own personal board of advisors.
Yeah, I like that.
People who challenge you, inspire you, celebrate your wins with you.
Right.
So we've covered a lot here.
We have.
And this is just the beginning.
Just scratching the surface.
But before we go any deeper,
yeah,
what's resonating with you so far? Like any big aha moments?
You know, I'm really struck by how interconnected all these habits are.
Yeah.
It's not about doing one thing, right?
Right.
It's about creating this whole system of habits that support each other and reinforce each other.
That's a great point. It's not about perfection. It's about building that sustainable system.
Exactly.
Step by step, day by day.
Little by little.
And that's exactly what we're going to keep exploring as we continue this deep dive.
I'm excited.
But for now, we want to hear from you. What habits do you think are essential for success?
Yeah, tell us in the comments.
Share your thoughts in the comments below. And don't forget to like.
And subscribe.
And hit that notification bell so you don't miss part 2 of our deep dive.
We'll see you there. It's like you create this positive feedback loop.
Oh, yeah.
The more you learn, the more you grow, and then the more you achieve, the more you want to keep going.
Right. And speaking of keeping it going, let's circle back to that habit of saying no.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people really struggle with that.
It's definitely tough, especially these days when it feels like we're constantly bombarded with requests and demands.
Right.
But it's something we can get better at with practice.
Right.
The more we consciously decide to say no to those things that don't serve us, the more time and energy we free up for the things that really do align with our goals.
But it's not always easy, right? Like,
well, it's hard.
There's that fear of missing out.
Yeah.
That pressure to please other people or that guilt
Definitely.
that can creep in.
I think successful people realize that saying yes to everything is a recipe for burnout.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to fill a leaky bucket.
Oh, yeah.
You can keep pouring in the water, but it's never going to be full.
That's a great analogy.
Yeah.
It really highlights the importance of setting boundaries and taking care of yourself. You got to replenish your own reserves before you can show up for other people.
Absolutely.
Or chase your own ambitions.
It all comes back to that self-care.
And that brings us back to something we talked about earlier, taking care of your health.
Yeah.
It's so easy to neglect that when we're busy and stressed.
Right. We let it slide.
But these successful people, they seem to get it.
Yeah.
Like they understand that their physical health is the foundation for everything else.
Makes sense. It impacts your energy, your focus, your resilience.
Yeah, it's like building a house on a shaky foundation.
Right.
No matter how impressive it looks.
Doesn't matter if the base isn't solid.
It's not going to last. And these folks, they prioritize their health.
Yeah.
With exercise, nutrition. Rest, they get it.
They know that those habits make their minds and bodies work better.
So it's not about vanity.
No.
It's about giving yourself the tools to perform at your best.
I like that.
And speaking of performing at your best, we've talked about taking action and avoiding procrastination.
Right.
What are some of the strategies that you've seen these successful people use?
Well, one thing that seems to help is breaking down big tasks into smaller steps.
Yeah.
It makes it feel less overwhelming.
Right.
And you get that sense of accomplishment as you check things off your list.
It's like that old saying, how do you eat an elephant?
One bite at a time.
One bite at a time.
It's all about making those consistent small efforts that add up.
I love that. And it also helps to set deadlines.
Yeah.
Hold yourself accountable.
Tell a friend use a planner.
Right.
Set reminders.
It's about building that structure.
Right.
To support your own motivation.
Absolutely.
But what about when things don't go as planned?
Yeah.
You hit a roadblock.
It happens to everybody.
How do these successful people deal with those inevitable challenges?
You know, one of the keys is that they're really resilient.
Yeah.
They don't look at setbacks as failures.
Right.
But as opportunities to learn and grow.
So they analyze what happened.
Yeah.
Figure out what went wrong.
Exactly.
And then they adjust.
It's all about having that growth mindset.
Right.
You don't give up when things get tough. You learn from it and adapt.
And I think a lot of that comes from having a good support system.
Absolutely.
It's so important to surround yourself with people who uplift and inspire you.
Especially when you're struggling.
It's like having your own personal cheering squad.
I love that.
People who believe in you even when you doubt yourself.
Yeah.
And they're there to celebrate your wins too.
It's not just about receiving support.
Right.
It's also about giving it.
Right.
Successful people understand that.
It's like creating this cycle of support.
Yeah.
Where everybody benefits.
Collaboration is key.
It's amazing how all these habits work together.
It really is.
To create this upward spiral of success.
It's like a tapestry.
Oh, yeah.
All these threads woven together to create a beautiful design.
And it's a design that we can all create in our own lives.
Absolutely.
It's not about copying somebody else's blueprint.
Right.
It's about taking these principles and adapting them to fit your own unique personality and strengths.
It's about finding what works for you.
And it's a process, right?
Oh, for sure.
It's not a one and done.
You're always learning.
It's about constantly learning, experimenting, refining your approach.
Never stopping.
It's a journey.
That's what makes it so exciting.
It really is.
It's not about reaching some destination.
Right.
It's about embracing the adventure.
And seeing where it takes you.
And it's an adventure that's open to everyone.
Absolutely.
No matter where you are in your journey, you can always choose to embrace these habits.
Yeah.
And create a more fulfilling life.
It's so empowering to know that.
It really is. We have the power to shape our own destinies.
I love that. To create the lives that we want.
Absolutely.
To achieve things that we once thought were impossible.
It all starts with believing in yourself.
I think that's a perfect place to pause for now.
Yeah, we've covered a lot.
We have. But don't worry.
There's more to come.
We're not done yet.
We're just getting started.
In part 3 of our deep dive, we're going to explore even more powerful habits of highly successful people.
Like continuous learning, cultivating a positive mindset,
setting those clear goals.
So stay tuned.
But in the meantime, we want to hear from you.
What's resonating with you?
What are you struggling with?
Share your thoughts.
Share your insights in the comments below.
We love hearing from you.
And if you're enjoying our deep dive, hit that like button.
Subscribe to our channel.
Share this episode with your friends.
We're on a mission.
We want to empower everyone to achieve their full potential.
And these habits are essential.
We'll see you in part 3. It's really amazing, isn't it? Like the power of having a clear vision for yourself. And then taking action to make it happen.
Aligning your actions with your aspiration.
Yeah, like almost tapping into this hidden energy source. That helps you overcome all those obstacles.
It's like this drive that keeps you moving forward.
And keeping that drive going. That's where the real magic is, right? And it's funny.
It is.
Because it's something we keep seeing again and again in our research, is the importance of consistency.
Oh, yeah.
Discipline. These successful people, they've got this down.
They really do. Success isn't about some big one-time effort.
Right.
It's about showing up every single day.
Yeah.
Even when you don't feel like it.
Doing the work.
Putting in the work. And over time, those efforts build up momentum.
It's like we are what we repeatedly do.
Exactly. Success is a habit.
I love that. And it makes me think of like building muscle.
Oh, yeah.
The more you exercise that discipline muscle, the stronger it gets.
The easier it becomes to stick with it.
And I think it's important to remember
that
it's not about being perfect.
Oh, no. Nobody's perfect.
We all slip up. We all have those days where we
fall short.
Yeah, we fall short. It's about progress.
Right.
Not perfection.
It's about recognizing those slip-ups, learning from them, and getting back on track.
And having that compassion for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Understanding that setbacks are going to happen.
They're part of the process.
So we've talked a lot about how successful people view those challenges as opportunities.
Right.
But how do they actually do that?
Well, one thing I've noticed is that they're really adaptable.
Okay.
They don't get stuck in one way of thinking.
So they're flexible.
They analyze what went wrong. They figure out the lesson.
Yeah.
And then they adjust based on that new information.
So they're constantly learning.
They're constantly refining their strategies, experimenting.
Getting better.
Always improving.
And this all ties back to that continuous learning.
Oh, for sure.
Right. Being open to new information.
Yeah. New perspectives, new ways of doing things.
Yeah. It's like they understand that the world is changing all the time.
Right.
And to stay ahead of the game,
you got to keep learning.
You got to keep learning.
And growing and expanding your knowledge.
And having that growth mindset.
Absolutely.
Right. Believing that we can always learn more.
Yeah. Your abilities aren't fixed.
You can always grow. So we've covered so much in this deep dive.
We have.
Looking at all these habits that set these successful people apart.
So many great insights.
But before we wrap up,
what
are you taking away from this?
You know, I think for me, the biggest thing is that success isn't some secret formula or luck. It's about developing these habits, making those small, consistent choices day after day.
And over time, those choices add up to big results.
Exactly.
It's about taking charge of your own journey.
Owning it.
Embracing the process and knowing that we all have that potential to achieve amazing things.
It's all about that commitment to growth.
Absolutely. And it's a journey that's open to everybody.
For sure.
It doesn't matter where you're starting from.
It's never too late.
You can always choose to embrace these habits.
Right, and start building the life you want.
It's pretty inspiring, isn't it?
It is.
Like, we really do have the power to shape our own destinies.
And achieve our dreams.
That's what it's all about, and we really hope this deep dive has given you the tools and the inspiration
to get started.
To start creating that life you want.
It's all within your reach.
And if you're feeling motivated to start putting these habits into practice.
We'd love to hear from you.
Let us know in the comments below.
Tell us about the habits you're focusing on.
And of course, if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel.
And share this episode with your friends.
We want to help everybody achieve their full potential.
These habits are the key.
Thank you so much for joining us on this journey.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
We believe in you.
We do.
And we can't wait to see what you accomplish.
Keep learning, keep growing.